So, default high score is 68,000. That's because the CPU in the computer game, the original game was Thunder Force 2 was based on, and the CPU in the Sega Genesis, and all these games, the second, third, and fourth games, the Motorola 68,000. The CPU that seems really beloved by its developers and is often referenced within the software. So, seems like they love that thing. Anyway, speaking of high scores, I haven't been able to put one up in practice. I have not been able to beat 68,000 points in practice. I did not practice it a whole lot, maybe like 20 minutes here and then 20 minutes there another time, but it was this level, this second level right here just beats me the fuck down. It seems insanely difficult, and I don't know what my problem is on it. This is supposed to be a really easy game, and most people think it's an easy-going, good time for a shooter. So I don't understand what my problem is, but I'm just beyond struggling with this level. So I was pretty proud of how I did on Thunder Force 1, or Thunder Force 2. I mean, excuse me, we didn't play 1. We're skipping that one, of course. But like, yeah, Thunder Force 2, I did really. I made it to the 6th level on 1 credit. That's pretty good. I got almost like in the upper 800,000 point range, so 1,000,000 points feels like it's within range on Thunder Force 2 for me. This game, I don't know what the fucking deal is. I think this game is seen as easier than the first, or than 2. I gotta stop saying the first. It really was not the first game in this series. It just feels like it. Of course, I say, of course I skipped Thunder Force 1 because it's a Japanese PC game, and I don't even know what emulators to use, or how to set that up, or how to source that, or anything. I don't know anything about that. It just seems like too much bullshit for a game that's probably going to be disappointing. So I've died twice already on the first level of the game. Really struggling. Just really struggling with this one. 3 times. Died 3 times on the first level of the game. This game seems too fast for me, is the problem. I don't have the reflexes for it, I don't think. This is a very fast, snappy game. People say it's easy, I don't know why, but I don't. I don't find it to be easy at all. I find it to be one of the hardest shooters I've played in a while. So, I don't know. I'm almost out of lives, and I'm not even 20% of the way to the default high score. So I mean, that's where it's too hard for me, and I'm bad at it. Boss isn't very hard, at least. I mean, kind of. Again, the shots are very fast. So as long as you're in the right spot on the screen, it's okay. But if you're not, you've got to move. You've got to react like, psh. I would snap, but I literally cannot snap. Fun fact about me, I'm unable to snap my fingers. Those things can shoot out a beam instantly that kills you. Good to know. Don't be on the same line as them ever. Okay? This is further than I made it when I was practicing on my handheld earlier. I actually am doing better on the second level and worse on the first level, so that's interesting. Good. Okay. Struggling with that. I don't understand the timing on it very well. Oh! I got cheaped. I got cheesed. Because I didn't know the boss. I don't know what the boss looks like. I got cheesed out. Movement speed's a little high for me by default, but I don't want to turn it down because I think you actually need the high movement speed. We'll see though. Still didn't set a high score. We're getting a lot closer than I ever have recently. So we're off to a good start here, sort of, despite doing terrible on the first level. It's like the best I've ever done on the second level, and one of the worst starts I've ever gotten on the first level combined. What the fuck hit me? What? There must have been a shot hidden inside of an enemy or something. Inside of an enemy that I killed right like as I was on it. That's so strange. What the fuck? I think I rushed that a little early. What? I'm getting just robbed on the first level. Just stolen from. Jesus Christ. I think there's 2 or 3 times where I was probably high enough to avoid the fire. I'm just pissed. I can't even play now. I'm so fucking pissed. The collision detection in this isn't very good. I don't think. I'll go back and watch the tape, but I don't know if it's very good. I'm getting a little pissed here. Like, how did I not dodge that fucking flamethrower? They're really saying I was too low? This is ass. Oh no, I don't want to. Never. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. Hang on. Sorry. Stupid fucking. I wish I could turn that shit off. God damn it. Either that or base your entire high score system around it. One or the other, I guess. You know, fucking. I don't know. I don't think continuing in shooters is great anymore. This used to be something I did. Now I don't. I'm not learning how to play them to do that. I may have to turn my movement speed down. Maybe the issue. I may just not be able to handle 3. I want to be able to handle 3 because I think it probably helps the game a whole lot. But sorry, we're doing a little reset in here. This isn't something I normally do either. I don't want to like to reset and start over and over again. But man, I gotta learn some real basic shit about the first level. Some real beginner of the game, basic shit. I should have practiced this a lot more before streaming it. I'm gonna be honest. I am so bad at this fucking game. I just do not get it. I do not understand why it's so hard for me. I feel like this game's crazy fucking hard. Are you sure you guys think it's easy? Am I crazy? What's wrong? What is wrong with me in this game? I don't understand. It just feels so fucking hard. Like it feels like it's got shots placed everywhere I would ever move or think about moving. And like everything happens within like a fraction of a second. You have to be so snappy. You gotta be all over this shit. Like a shot comes out. This is the opposite of a bullet hell shooter. They put one bullet on the fucking screen. One. And it's moving 10 million goddamn miles an hour right towards where you need to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this one. This feels like the hardest shooter I've played in a long, long time. I've just played a bunch of bullet hell games and stuff. I don't get it. It's just crazy. What the fucking deal, man? What's the fucking deal? I'm exhausted with this already. Jesus Christ. Why is this game so goddamn hard? Oh, I don't get it. I truly don't get it, guys. Y'all seem to think this is an easy one. And maybe it is the way I'm playing. Maybe this is a really easy game to beat levels on when you're continuing. Well, sure. I mean, a lot of shooters are. But, like, playing it for score, I can't even put up a score. It just seems so fucking hard. I'm getting way the fuck up here every time he does his flames now. And then I'm gonna get hit when he does that. I just have to accept that. I don't have the reflexes for that. I don't know any human being who should. Fucking superhuman for that shit. Man, I was really proud of myself for surviving that until I didn't. Until they decided I wasn't allowed to do that. Until they decided I wasn't allowed to do that. It doesn't matter that you pulled back and are smart and avoided the shit. It doesn't matter because they're going to spawn an enemy behind you too. Just to make sure you get fucked either way. This game is crazy fucking hard. I don't understand where this game's easy reputation came from. This seems like one of the hardest fucking shooters on the Genesis, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe I'm confused about something here, but this just seems crazy fucking hard to me. Like, there's so much shit that's constantly blowing me up. Never mind on this. I guess this guy has way too much health. There we go. Now I got some shit going on, and I got a high score for a change. Whew. I really like this weapon a lot. That's why they're gonna take it away from me instantly. That's why they're never gonna let me fucking have that. Yeah. Alright, good to see the high score move a little bit. Woo! This game gets so frustrating. So much shit happens so fast in this game. Like, you're in, you're out. You're doing good, you're doing bad. Here's all your lot. Here, you're almost dead. Here's 5 extra men. Here, oh, wait, there goes 3 of them. You just ran into some shit. Oh, man. I wonder if everything's just as dodgeable on Speed 2. You know what? I got a high score up. I can't reset. I can't play this either, though. I'm just so fucking pissed about that stupid fucking shit. How is it that I managed to get hit by the first shot in the game so goddamn much? This is a truly frustrating game. And if I die on the first shot, we'll have a moment of silence and then we'll continue on, okay? Fucking game. I think this may actually be the smartest move I've made, is just turning the speed down a little bit so I can control my fucking ship. The default speed is kind of absurd, isn't it? Yeah, you can select your level order at this point, or at the beginning of the game. And this becomes a thing in the Thunder Force games going forward. It probably has a lot of effect on my score if I were to change what level I started on, so I'm just not going to do that so that my scores are meaningful to myself. I'm just going to start in whatever the default order is, which is kind of a damn shame because this level gets my ass. This level just stomped my butthole, and I missed the shield, guaranteeing my near instant death. I'll be dead in just a second, actually. Literally, like, probably less than 30 seconds from my death right now. Yep. There's 5 starting areas. I think there's 6 levels in the game. Maybe more, though. Seems fair and right. All of a sudden, the strategy you've been using the entire game just randomly doesn't work. Okay. Does that mean I should switch it up to a new strategy? Since it didn't work the one time, or is it going to go back to working every other time I try it? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Rules are all made up at this point. So I've got to. Do I have to rush forward and be ahead of those before they go off? I'm really confused here, and I want a real answer. Like, it seems like if I hold back, then the bar comes up, but then they spawn an enemy behind me, which is a total fuck you. Like, there's no getting out of that. I'm gonna die. 100%. Every time that happens, I will be dead. So, I'm supposed to be ahead of the bar? I mean, it spawns pretty early and pretty far on the right side of the screen. This game's really frustrating. I don't like it nearly as much as I remembered, because it's just hard. I don't find it as fun as the first game in some weird way. The first game was like more like consistent, like I could always do the same thing and it would always work out the same way. I think the collision detection was probably better in the first game. Again, I'm really not sure about this one. It feels sloppy or something to me a little bit. I also just find it, yeah, just really, really frustrating. Like, stuff's too fast, enemies move too fast, and I move too fast. And if I turn my speed down, I don't move fast enough. It's really frustrating. I don't quite get it. I've never wanted to reset a game as much as this one. I always feel like I'm doing it wrong. I'm like, nope, just got off on a bad foot. Let's try this again. But it's not really a bad foot. It's just frustration from the game just being very, very, very difficult. Again, I'm very serious when I say this. I find this game to be extremely difficult, more so than games like Elemental Down. You know, it's comparable to something like Gyara's to me. I can make it a little bit. Well, the levels are shorter. That's the only reason why I'm making it further in this than Gyara's. This is actually kind of harder than Gyara's in a lot of ways. But that's something comparable in difficulty. Gyara's, maybe Elemental Down. No, I can't say that because I can get much, much further in that game than this one. Maybe Glaylancer is also pretty comparable in difficulty with this. This is just way hard to me. Everything's too fast and it's too challenging. I think I learned something. I'm gonna go ahead and die. I think I did learn something. So those explosions are persistent, and if you're anywhere near the bubbles, even after they die, it's not a graphic effect like a normal shooter. In a normal shooter, when you blow up a ship, the explosion that comes out of the ship blowing up, that's just something cool on the screen. That's your reward for blowing up the ship. In this game, it's a bomb that will kill you. So I have to completely change my playstyle to avoid detonated enemies. It's funny because there are like all these other old shooters that came out at this time that I would have definitely said were not as good as this game back in the day. Ew, Sega, Whip Rush, Helldiver, nah. Now I prefer probably every single one of those games to this one. Probably every last one of them I think is more fun than this. I almost wonder if I fucked up with this series. If this was my favorite game in the series before, and I'm like meh on it now, I wonder how this is gonna go. Maybe I'll discover whatever it is about Thunder Force 4 besides the incredible graphics that people think is so amazing. I don't know. To me, that's just a really good-looking game. It's to play. I mean, not terrible. It's very vertical, so it's weird. What you doing, weirdo? What you doing, buddy? Hang on, this is unusual. What you doing in here, buddy? Come here. You're getting caught up in wires, so let's get out of here. Come on. Good boy. Yeah. Stinky boy. So what do you do on that part? How do you not get a life stolen from you right out the gate on this level? What prevents you from getting that life stolen from you? I'm gonna have to watch somebody else play this shit at some point, probably. I just feel like there's nothing there. That just feels like some cheap ass arcade game that's trying to take your quarter, and not like a real game. You don't need my quarters, man. This is a cartridge. Let's not play like that. You know, come on. What's the fucking deal? Yeah. Stole my quarter. Slapped a fireball on the back of the screen just as a funny trick. God damn this game. people look at shooters entirely from a graphics and sound perspective. This game looks and sounds so much better than Hellfire, for example. Hellfire's a pretty ugly game. Hellfire's a lot more fun than this. This is a much better balanced game made by people who care about level design and game design a lot more. Again, just stolen from me. I guess I had to be pushing the right side of the screen. God damn, what? Just what? You gotta ride the front quarter of the screen the whole time? Yeah, that's gonna work out great for me, I'm sure. Fast, sloppy, big shit all over the screen, can barely move. But if you move real far, fast, smash, boom, you're dead again. Boom, you're dead again. Boom. I'd rather be set back when I die in this game. You barely get any invincibility time anyway, and it's just boom, you're dead again. Ugh. This is exhausting to play. I probably won't put too much time in it. Man, Thunder Force 3 really let me down. I wonder if I'll always have this opinion on it. This is why I make these videos, though, to remember what games I like, don't like, what it feels like to play them. This game doesn't feel great to play. I played a lot of shooters recently, and I'd rather play almost any of them. I like the way it looks, love the music. Want it to be better. I want it to be a better game than it is. Some of the enemies are so cool, looking like this giant fucking thing with the arm on it that comes out here. So cool. This thing. It's not alive for very long. Probably cooler looking than the boss of this level, which is kind of an odd thing. It's funny, when I grew up I loved this game and I hated R-Type. Now I love R-Type and I'm not feeling this. I'm not going to go as far as to say I hate it, but I wish it was better. I might just be imagining that it's worse than it is just because it's so hard and I'm so bad at it. Yeah. I'm gonna take a break. I hope I have a more positive attitude about this game when I get back. I almost feel like I'm forcing myself to play it. Gosh, I remember it being more fun than this. This is just so hard. It's so hard and stupid. I don't know. I play a lot of shooters. This is just my opinion. I mean, I play a lot of shooters that people consider hard that I think are okay. I'm not saying I'm great at shooters, so I'm definitely not. Everyone says this one's easy, and it feels like I'm getting kicked in the fucking balls. And it's just like pointlessly hard because everything's so fast and you can't control it well, and it just smashes into each other. And I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like it. Anyway, that's how my review of Thunder Force 3 so far. Like, I don't think I would give it a bad review because, again, graphics and sound are really intense. It's fun for a second when you pick it up until you realize how unbalanced it is. But maybe like a 6 out of 10. Mostly my big criticisms being bad collision detection and extreme difficulty. I don't know. Like extreme difficulty. Anyway, I'm going to take a break. And then maybe we'll switch to something easier like Musha or something so I can have a good time. I don't know. I wanted to do the whole Thunder Force series, but this is also killing my interest in it, so I'm having a hard time here. But I'll be back soon and we'll decide what we're going to do. here I'm back with the hottest of takes. Not fond of Thunder Force 3 at all. Really surprised to be saying this. Shocked even. And worried about playing the rest of the Thunder Force games, since this is kind of the foundation for them going forward. But I don't like this game all that much. I mean, it's a 6 out of 10 shooter for me. It wouldn't clear my top 10 favorites on the Genesis for shooters. Probably wouldn't clear my top 20 favorites. Probably be in the bottom 10, in fact. I mean, there's much worse. You can do much worse. But, like, I mean, this isn't like Deep Blue on the TurboGrafx 16 levels of shit or whatever, but it's just not. It doesn't play very well. It looks and sounds fantastic and does not play very well, and that's my opinion of it. And a lot of that comes down to the speed of the ship. So this was a big... First of all, I'm not a big fan of games being able to change the speed of your ship. I don't think it's great. I think that if you want to do that, well, nowadays, if you want to do that, give the game analog control. But if you have digital-only control, just find a speed for the ship that works, and don't make us change it around or get... You know, normally I'm all for options, but I feel like that's silly. Like, something's wrong in the game, possibly. Most games, though, I just leave it on the default speed and I'm fine. I don't have to think about it. I think Whip Rush was one where I had to mess around with it a whole lot. I wasn't really fond of that. This game, the default speed is too fast, and the speed is right one notch slower. It defaults to 3. And 3's too fast, and 2's too slow, and that's literally just the way it is. Like, one of them's so fast that it gets me killed because I smash into stuff, and the other one's so slow that it gets me killed because I can't get out of the way of the enemy shots in time. So, it has a gross balance to it that seems wrong. And, yeah, I don't know. Probably the smart thing for me to do would be to switch over to Thunder Force 4. That way I can figure out if I even want to play any of these. Like, if I want to bother with 5 and 6. You know what I mean? Like, do I even want to bother with them? I know I don't like 5 all that much. I've talked about that before. Not my favorite shooter in the world. Again, not absolutely awful, but definitely a 6 out of 10 kind of game for me, based on my recollection. What if I go back and play 5 and I like it even less than I did back then? Holy shit, you know? I guess we can find out, though. I think I'm just not a Thunder Force guy. I guess that's the case. That's funny, too, because I was an early Thunder Force 2 player. It's starting to look like I just may not like the series based on this game. I wonder what's in that fucking thing. I wonder if I'll ever get it and find out. You gotta be quick as a motherfucker to hit it, I can tell you that. That's one of the hardest to hit power-ups in the game I can think of. Never have I wanted to put a game on easy so much before, but there's no such thing. When it says mission level down at the bottom, it's just talking about what it considers the level to be. Which, by the way, it considers this horse shit to be normal. You gotta be ahead of them or behind them? What's the fucking story on those? God. And the one time I made it to the third level was kind of a fluke also. I don't really see that happen again. It's not going well. Okay, that's not the one you gotta rush ahead of, but it didn't hurt me to do so. Now going forward, they all are. I have to be like ahead of them, right? I have to be. Oh, well, you get hit with the fireballs if you're ahead of it, but you get crushed by the bar if you're behind it. They got to make sure they steal your quarter because this is a game in the arcade where they need money. I guess I don't know, man. These guys should have been making arcade games. They should not have been making console games. Since they want to steal my money so bad and want to be unfair to the player so bad. Neat. I'll probably save my score. I'm very unlikely to come back to this game. But if I do, it's because I'm playing the whole series and I'm giving it another go. Because I decided that I love the series based on something entirely different than this experience here today. Let me tell you that. There it is. There's that precious item. I finally got it. It's a roll, which I already had, of course. Getting an extra one doesn't seem to give you speed like in the previous game. It just gives you points. Like getting any double of any other power-up ever does. Or at least there is some sort of power-up to make the wolf, the claw wolf, around you faster. Into, I don't know what it is. Okay, it's gonna make things way more challenging. Yep. Possibly ended me. And I was ripping dick too. I was doing so good. Oh well. Whatever. Now I get to die instantly on the next level. It's fun. If I even make it there. Probably won't, actually. Look at that shit. Holy fucking shit. This game's hatefully difficult. And probably the hardest shooter on the Genesis next to Guy Aries. Which is like this, but with longer levels. I consider both of those games to just... This one's now, I'm lumping in that category where it's like, the fun of this game is severely hurt by how difficult you made it. That sucks. Should be balanced differently and better. Instead, with real snappy, short, hard shit like this on very short little levels, it feels like luck if I get through them. Not like you know what I mean? Like not like some precise thing like other shooters feel. I don't know. It's just not good. Looks real good though. Sounds real good. That elevates it. But only so much, you know. That was like the one weapon I didn't want to lose, so I was like smashing the button trying to change it. Just at that moment. Just at that moment. But I guess that's not going to happen. See, this level seems much more fair in its design than level 2. Level 2 is really hurt, in my opinion, of the game a lot. I feel like that's probably where it's really manifesting as bad design. And a lot of it has to just do with those vertical bars on 2, which I simply don't understand it. Because they seem like they screw you regardless of which side of the bar you try to be on. It doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem like there's a good way to do it. And Thunder Force 2 had actually a lot of problems with things not being fair as well. And it made up for it by giving you a bunch of lives. But it had some real shitty parts. I'm sure you noticed that level 5 is problematic. Like, yeah, it's design and everything. The volcanic overhead top view level. Why is it whenever they design a volcanic level they can't make the gameplay fair? What's your deal with that, Technosoft? You got some sort of problem with volcanoes and lava, and whenever you see it, you're just like, you know what? Let's screw the player over on this volcano level. We like doing that. That's our signature move. I'm warming up to this as I do better at it, but it's still a very sloppy shooter, so it's gonna taint my opinion of it. It might be more of a 7 than a 6. It probably is a 7. It's probably about as good as the first game. The first game's not, like, neither part of it's particularly well designed. The top view levels are kind of infamously frustrating, although I think that they're at least very interesting. And then the side view levels are kind of bland, honestly. I mean, they're just serviceable, but they play well enough. So it kind of, the combined effect of having a little bit of variety elevates the game a little bit, even if it is kind of old and stuff. And this one is like a sloppy mess of a game. It's like a cool action shooter, scrolling fast game, but it's like kind of got some level design and fairness issues and stuff. But it's, you know, audio visual presentation elevates it. So it's like, they're both probably a 7. They're not the worst or best shooters on the Genesis. Or whatever. Now, a lot of people think that Thunder Force 4 is the best shooter on the Genesis, and I'd have to say they'd have to step it up a lot from these first 2 games to really be able to say something like that. Because it's not like they're close. It's not like this is close to being as good as Fire Shark. It's not like this is as close to being as good as Sega or whatever. It's not really. I mean, I think that those games are fantastic. Truckstone's fantastic. All the Toa Plan stuff's a cut above this because it's designed so much better. It doesn't matter that the sound and the graphics aren't as good. I think people really get distracted by that stuff a little too much sometimes, you know? I mean, it's cool that this is such a good looking and sounding game, but if it played as well as the Toa Plan game, you know what I mean? And then it would be something that's like an all-time legend instead of just, you know, whatever. I do prefer, you know, vertical shooters, but I mean, there's some really fantastic horizontal shooters on the Genesis, like Elemental Down, and is that the name of that game? Elemental, whatever the fuck it's called. And Glay Lancer is really good, although it's very frustrating. Boucher is my favorite shooter on the Genesis for what it's worth. These games were crazy influential in their design, I will say that. For a long time there, I thought that Android Assault Bari Bari Arm on the Sega CD was a Technosoft game because it plays so much like a Thunder Force game, but it's not. Also like it better than this game, by the way. Like it better than maybe any game in this series. Who knows? That's that weird shit about the explosion being dangerous after they die that I was talking about earlier. Even though none of the other explosions are, and there's not really anything to indicate that. It's very poor signposting and design in the game. Like, piss poor. Like, it basically is subverting something that we always expect in video games. The enemy explosions will not hurt me. And suddenly making it to where they do. On just one thing that they didn't make look all that different. That's not good. It's not clever. That's not like a clever way of tricking the player. Again, you don't need to steal my credits. You don't need to steal money from me. This isn't a quarter using arcade game scenario. You know, like, what's the deal? So yeah, there were at least two other. I think the two other horizontal shmups that were out at the same time as this game were Whip Rush and Hellfire, and then like Guy Aries came out just like on this game's heels. And I mean, I guess this is about the same level of quality as Whip Rush and Guy Aries, games that I also am not crazy about, but I think that they're okay. Hellfire is a cut above, actually. Hellfire is actually pretty damn good. And I didn't recognize that back in the day because I was all about graphics and sound like most kids and thought that this was the shit. But no, Hellfire's the shit. This is just whatever. Hellfire's real plain looking, but a very good, very well designed, well balanced challenge. Gameplay of it is probably 2 cuts ahead of this one, you know what I mean? Even if the graphics are 2 steps behind. So if you're traveling back to 1990 with this, you know, $50 and looking for a shooter, now you have my advice. So yeah, going back to Engelbart's point about, he was saying that Thunder Force 2 definitely seemed like a next-gen arcade game compared to a lot of stuff that was out, and wasn't, you know, technically more impressive than R-Type, which I kind of mostly agree with. That's a tricky one, because R-Type has better art, but Thunder Force has a lot of technical superiority, like, you know, in terms of slowdown and flicker, which it completely lacks, I would say. But man, the gameplay, not even a question. R-Type's a 9 out of 10 shooter, and these games don't come close. I mean, I feel like, I wonder if Engelbart would agree that R-Type's a much better game than maybe any of the Thunder Force games. Also, R-Type's a better game than its own sequels, and a better game than a lot of games, just in general. So that's a hard one to call. But I would actually say R-Type's much better than its own sequels, even the second game, which it is also just a terribly frustrating game to play. That worked. Just get low there. Okay. Now I know what to do on that one part. That's good. That saves me a life, though. That's really good. Shit, I don't know what to do there, though. Maybe the same thing with get low, but I feel like I need to be ahead of it, really. Oh, that's real fun. Finding new ways to fuck me over, huh? As if I hadn't done enough already. Let's take a little break. I'll be right back in just a few minutes. Thanks for watching. I'm slowly warming up to this a little bit, but that's a weird thing to go back to on a game that you used to love and be like, why did I used to love this? Anyway, it's not that bad. I'll be right back. I feel like the title screen art on Thunder Force 2 was a lot cooler than on 3. But man, the graphics in game are so much better on this one. It does make me excited about playing it when I see the demo rolling. I'm like, man, this is a cool looking game. I'm probably being way too harsh on it. It's just, I'm so frustrated by how frustrating it is. And being very realistic about it, I think that this is pretty much a 7 out of 10 game. It's got a weird mixture of nostalgia confronting the reality of it being too hard for me at the same time. It's whatever. Like that, look at that shit. Look at that, look at that. Just dying right off. Fuck this. You can't die from running into the ceiling or floor, which is a great thing for me to know, but I do want to start over again. Man, knowing that the walls and ground don't hurt me is actually going to probably affect my gameplay a lot. I think I was being overly cautious about some shit that I didn't need to worry about. So there's two alternate variations of this game. This got re-released on the in the arcade using the Megatech arcade hardware, so essentially running on a Genesis Megadrive system. But with some changes and additions and stuff. I think you cannot select the order of the levels anymore, and it's got like an extra level or two. Some other slight changes, maybe some changes in power-ups or something, I don't know. That version is called Thunder Force AC, and it was ported to the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo version is based on it, or is much closer to it. And that version is called Thunder Spirits. And of course it's missing some stuff from the arcade. It's different in its own ways. You don't want to lose the missiles because you're trying to save them for the boss. That's pretty fun. I don't know if it's doing any real damage, but it's pretty fun, nonetheless. There we go. So yeah, I warmed up to this game's gameplay. I probably would have stayed in, well, I did back in the day, stayed enthralled with the game because of the way it looked and sounded, and then the game, by the time I was, getting past that, I was really figuring out the gameplay anyway and getting more into it. Whereas going back to it, it's frustrating because I already know what the game looks and sounds like. It's great. All that's great, but man, the gameplay is an acquired taste. It requires a second to acclimate to, for sure. Not the worst thing in the world, but goddamn, it's frustrating and fast. The ground there hurts you. That ground hurts you. God damn it. Well, what are the fucking rules? Ground hurt me. Give us at least one more go. I feel like with a little effort I could get past that asshole. Yeah, now I'm starting to get into the gameplay. It's just really fast and it's really touchy. It doesn't feel like most shooters at all. Woo! Just gonna play it through. Play it through, and I'll play. So look, I can smash into the ground as much as I want here, but you go to the water level and try that shit, and boom, you're dead. Each level's got different rules on it, and the only way to find out is the hard way. I'm still a little unclear on what the second level's rules are on that, actually. I need to find out. Since this is a shit run anyway, I'll smash right into the ground as soon as I get there, and we'll see if it kills me or not. I have absolutely no idea what the answer to that is. And we definitely see that it kills us on the third level, and we definitely see that it doesn't on the first level. Ah, consistency. You know, people always talk about how hard Aero Blasters is, and I don't find it any harder than this. Really, I don't find it any easier either. It's just about the same. Which is to say, hard as balls. I can probably get to the 3rd level on Aero Blasters with some practice. And I feel like I'm gonna have to stream that now. Good game, though. Ganco don't always knock it out of the park for me. They're a real hit-and-miss developer, but Aero Blasters is, you know, maybe their finest moment. It's great. It's a great shooter. As far as the two 16-bit ports go, I think I do prefer the Megadrive Genesis port of Aero Blasters, which came out in the US under the name Airbuster. It has load time. I mean, I guess that's its big downside, but the PC Engine one plays pretty well, but it has more flicker and slowdown, of course, and more missions from the arcade game due to you know, smaller ROM size. I'm never gonna figure out a fucking way to survive this bullshit. But the main thing about the TurboGrafx and PC Engine version of that game that pisses me off is that the scoring system, they added a whole bunch of zeros to the score, which just makes it hard to read. It's really weird. I don't understand what the fuck they're doing there. Anyway, we'll talk about that more when I play Aero Blasters or Airbuster or whatever. Maybe I'll do the arcade version, then we won't have to dispute which one's better. Just watch the original game kick the shit out of me. Oh shit. Oh yeah, I was gonna check the most important thing of all. Yes, touching the rocks here kills you. Only on the first level is it safe to touch the ground. Only ever on the first level. Then it's not afterwards. Why? Who the fuck knows, man? It's the little things like that, though, that make me think, you know, whether or not a shooter was made with a lot of care to its gameplay. This game was made with a lot of care to its graphics and its sound. I have not yet found a way to survive that area. It feels like such a cheat. Like, it feels like they're just cheating me out. It doesn't matter if I go high or low, and I can't get ahead of it. I looked at it this time. I don't think I can get ahead of it. And if I do, I'm sure I'll just get hit by the fireballs as they enter from the right. It's just such a cheat. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I still had shield when I made it to the boss. That is a whole new level of accomplishment for me there. Yeah, I've finally come around on this. I've warmed up to this. This is a very hard game, but I like it. I find it challenging, but it has a very different feel than other shooters, which is very hard to acclimate to, because your ship's so fast. Which I realize that's adjustable, but like if you change it, you're kind of fucked. But the whole game is kind of built around this idea of your ship being very, very fast. Enemies don't take a lot of hits in this, which I appreciate. A lot of shooters will grind you out on that, and it's annoying. Oops. This is always a challenge when I try to like practice a game on the stream rather than before it, which is really what happened here. Finally, at least I get to see myself make some accomplishments on the stream, which is fun. And like I said, it does help with my opinion of the game. I think it's probably, I still probably think it's a 7 out of 10 shooter. If you think it's higher than that, I get it, because it's very cool looking. Maybe an 8 out of 10. Man, I was rating it 6 out of 10 at first just because I felt like there was no strategy for some of that shit. There is, it's just different than other shooters. It really is just different and very hard. Shit. I want to give it like one more go. Then I'll probably save it and call it there. But man, you know, I did come around on this a lot. I actually have a much higher opinion of it by the end of the year than I did at first. Like I said, back in the day, you wouldn't mind the period that you spent acclimating to playing the game as much, probably because it's very cool looking, it has great graphics, great sound. You're gonna be real into that for a little while. But man, it's kind of a kick in the ass the way it plays. Everything can go wrong so fast. They give you very little invincibility time when you come back. It's just, you move fast or you move too slow, one or the other. And maybe if you're really good at manipulating your speed constantly as you play and you know exactly how to do that, maybe you can get a little better at it than I can. But the reality of this series, though, is that the first game was a complete unknown and not some arcade game, you know, but it became a hit because it was like the only shooter we had. This game was a huge hit because it was a sequel to it and very, very impressive in all, you know, audio-visual ways, like I've said. It was a huge hit during the, you know, an important part of the Genesis's life in 1990. And then the fourth game in the series came out at the very ass end of the Genesis's life when they didn't feel like the name Thunder Force had any value at all, so they changed it to Lightning Force for some reason, which they spelled as Lightning Force, so to make less heavy. They are a lightning force, I guess. I don't know. But it's weird because, yeah, from Technosoft's perspective, they were probably making their ultimate masterpiece that we should all check out. And in reality, everyone had moved on from the Genesis and nobody played it. Because the game itself is very impressive, as you'll see. Probably play that one tomorrow. It depends on whether or not my job's open. If I'm working tomorrow, I'm working from home. Won't be able to stream, sadly. But if I'm not, I will. Oh, I'm shooting in the head, even though I know that doesn't work, and I have no idea why I'm doing that. Cool. Cool. That part does not seem survivable. I stand by my statement there. That does not seem like it can be survived. I'm gonna have to watch a video on it. I'm dying to know what the trick is because I've tried. You can't get ahead of it. I just looked at that. I mean, you just can't, right? But if you're behind it, you're gonna die too. Like I don't understand. Even if I was ahead of it, I'd die. I mean, it's what you know. It's like the most confounding fucking part of a shooter I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Technosoft has a design document somewhere that says if a level involves fire and lava, there has to be a mandatory stupid death at some point. that's Thunder Force 3. I did warm up to it. I wish everything else would warm up around here. It's very, 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 very cold. So yeah, if I'm frozen in the house tomorrow again, maybe Thunder Force 4. Otherwise, probably this weekend. I hope they keep the momentum up. I hope they fix some of the very kind of noticeable and frustrating problems of this game. I was very negative about this for the first half, and I'm sorry if this is your favorite game ever. But after warming up to it, I do see how to get past some of the problems with it. I think it's a really good game, but it's a really weird shooter that has its own feel, and you've got to deal with its quirks or whatever. It's probably a 7 out of 10. Strangely harder to pick up and play than Thunder Force 2, which I'm surprised to say that. But worth playing for sure. I mean, look at it. This game's cool. So I do like it better than Guy Aries. I stand by Guy Aries being a 6 out of 10. This is probably a 7 out of 10. And was still one of the best shooters available on the Genesis when it came out. I still would have recommended Truxton or something over it because I like vertical shooters better. But if you were looking for a horizontal shooter fix and you couldn't get into Hellfire, or you're already tired of it, then this would have been a good pick, you know. Certainly, despite being half as big of a ROM, is more impressive than Guy Aries in both graphics and sound, in my opinion. It offers similar levels of frustration, so there's something to look forward to. So yeah, Thunder Force 4, I've always thought it was maybe a bit overrated when I played it, because it basically just feels like this game, which, going back and playing this, you know, I see how rough it is in some ways. Maybe 4 has some of the same problems of being too fast and smashy and running into stuff and whatever, and then being too slow if you turn the speed down and getting hit by fast moving shots. You know, that's kind of the issue here. And also 4 has a lot of verticality to it, which is weird because you can be being shot at by off-screen stuff that you have to chase down by moving up or down a whole lot. But that might also make the gameplay more interesting too. I don't know. We'll give it a shot and see, I guess. And then we'll see if my opinions on Thunder Force 5 have changed at all. And then we'll play Thunder Force 6 for the first time ever. So, got those to look forward to. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good one.